You guys, there are a few exciting things to announce. One, my books have arrived. Two, Sarah J. Maas has finally announced the next ACOTAR books.
To address your Instagram post.
It's been a long time coming. The story that was finally ready to come out of me was big. I will say that was ACOTAR 6 with the arrow pointing forward to indicate like things going ahead of that. The next ACOTAR book is coming out on October 27th. What if this book was really fucking long? Like, what if it took me more than 1,000 pages to tell the story that needed to be told? What if that took beyond the constraints of a single volume? On January 12th, the next ACOTAR book will be coming out.
What? Yes, I may not have shelves to put them on, but I have been reunited with my children. I have not opened all of the boxes, but I am taking them out, I'm reassessing, I'm remembering so many of the beauties that I own, and it has brought me much joy. But it's hard to decide. What do I feel more joy over? These books or the announcement? So if you didn't know, let me catch you up. Sarah J. Maas, Queen, went on Call Her Daddy podcast, one of my favorite podcasts. And she was talking about her writing and like what's been going on. And she announced that in October of this year, she is publishing ACOTAR 6. But then in February, comes ACOTAR 7. How insane. She's giving us not only one, but two extremely overwritten books that are going to be as terrible, if not more terrible, than the previous one, The Silver Flames, or whatever the Aquifers was, that was Nesta's book. Okay. Hopefully I reeled some of you in, but the real ones, you might have had some questions, but I hope you knew where I was getting. I am not excited about this. I am not excited about this. Obviously, the important thing is that my books are here, and I can list 100 other things that I am more excited about. I don't know. The sun is out today. It's 60 degrees. I've been reunited with my Patagonia fleeces. My water is cold. I don't know. Then her books. But I had to reel people in some way. You got to play games here on the YouTube. So yeah, she did go on that podcast. I was like, do I watch it? I watched some clips, but she was like womp womp womp, and I was writing it, realizing the story, and that it was going to be so much. So it's going to be split into 2 books. I don't know if it's all like focused on 2 characters, or if it's going to be more than that. How like the last book was Nesta and Cassian, so I don't know if it's just going to be 2 or if it's going to be 4. Sorry, when I do these videos like this, I can't sit still. But all I do know is it will be overwritten and need to be edited by hundreds of pages. That's all I know. I don't know what I titled this video, but it's saying like, was I wrong about Sarah J. Maas or something, probably again to pull you in. But I'm not completely lying. Now I do not remember, and I can't go find a particular video, but I do feel like I talked about when it happened, when Sarah Janet made a post promoting one of her books, and she talked about Breonna Taylor in the caption. Let me find it. Okay, it was for A Court of Silver Flames, it said. In case you missed the reveal earlier, here's the A Court of Silver Flames cover. I hope it's a bit of light for you guys today, given the appalling lack of justice for Breonna Taylor and a president doing his best to undermine and destroy democracy. And while I truly am so thrilled for you guys to read Nesta and Cassian's book in February, and I love this artwork so much, I also want to encourage each one of you to get out there and vote this November. Vote for people who will protect and nurture our democracy. Vote for people who recognize and will fight the racial injustice in this country. Vote for people who will battle climate change and pull our planet back from the brink. Vote, 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 because no election has ever been more important, and the future of this country and this world depends on you. Now, I remember myself that I feel like I tried to give her grace, that she was trying to be like, hey, I am talking about my book, but I also want to talk about this thing. Now, what was that? 2019? 2020? That book came out? If she was talking about voting, then it had to be 2020. But now, in light of recent things, people who have been talking or using the Epstein files as a means of content. It's not authors, but there have been people who are like talking about some of their favorite dark romance or whatever books, but using the Epstein files in their like TikTok videos and saying like, oh, this character from this book would be able to take down these people in the Epstein files or these things. And I just find that really weird to need to bring in that real life terrible thing to the content. And I was like, didn't you try to give her grace about that? And I think I did. Again, there's probably somebody out there who has been preying on my downfall who has that clip saved. I don't need it, okay? I don't remember, but I feel like I did say that, and I have recorded so many videos over the years, I can't go back and find it. So if you have it, please save it for yourself. I don't need to see it. But anyway, so then I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? That really was, you could have just made a post. You could have just made a separate post not about your book and saying these things. So I am glad that you were encouraging people to vote. You have a large platform. You are a huge author. I am glad that you spoke up about that, but you didn't need to do it in the promotion of your book. But again, Sarah Janet only uses social media for her benefit. It is only to talk about her books, and that's fine. So I always want to be fair. So I was going back through, and most of them have been lots of promotion, a couple things about herself. She doesn't post often here, but going back, besides this one, there were several ones leading up to the election in 2020. We have here the vote, and she did post in condemnation of the January 6th attack on the Capitol. So she definitely used to post more. Here we go in 2020, votes, Biden, Harris. Definitely used to. The occasional, this is rare for her posting somebody else's book. I feel like she never does that. But most of it is promotion of her own things and maybe a little tidbit of family here and there. But for the most part, she keeps it to her books. So I just want to be fair there. But since then, really in 2020, it really has just been, or this was 2021. So that's kind of the last time it looks that she posted about anything that was not a book or a baby. Nobody's saying you have to come and share your private life, but I feel like those are one of the last few times she ever spoke out about anything that was besides her book. But of course she had to do it in conjunction. So that's what I'm changing my mind on. I can be wrong. It's hard to be wrong on the internet because the internet doesn't like to give people grace and give you a chance to learn from a mistake. But I'm still here. So I decided that I would like to right that wrong. So it is still up. The post is still up, which is crazy. But she has had feedback from assistants and whoever who are on the internet and heard about it, but she hasn't taken it down. Whatever. She doesn't have to. And here's the thing. When these books come out, anyone who has any kind of critique about her, and there's numerous things, right? Is a small number. It may seem like it's a lot of people, but it's a very small number, and the majority of people either don't know or don't care. And she is still going to sell hundreds of thousands of copies of her books and will, be able to roll in her wealth, and she will just be fine. She's not going to listen to us here on the internet. So I know it's not going to happen. People aren't going to ignore those people, but I'm sure the videos are going to be cropping up and people are going to be mad. The people are talking about her book and reading it, but it's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So I just want you to gird your loins, to prepare yourself to be, if you're going to be upset about it, because you're going to see it. Not here, but you're going to see it. Secondly, I also think that I try to give a benefit of the doubt to, let me find their name. Okay, I can't find what they changed their name to, but they now go by he, him pronouns. But it's the author of the World of Guardian book, where it was last year that the book, they had talked about it for a long time on TikTok, and people did tons of pre-orders for special editions of the book or whatever from, I don't know their new name, his new name. It's not listed here. It just says, oh, Milo Winters. Milo Winters. It was like unprecedented. Like, people were talking about it. They were talking about their world building and characters and processes of writing and all these things. And so people got really excited and they did pre-orders. And I think he had like 5,000 something like pre-orders. Like, it was something very rare for an indie author. And I think he was like 21, 22. Then the book came out. People got their book and they started reading it and they were like, this is terrible. This is not, it's poorly written. Just even on like a word to word basis, the story is not great. So he got a lot of negative feedback. So then he started posting saying that he was going to rewrite it, and there were certain refund options. You could pre-order the revised edition. And so many people were like, he is scamming people. This is a scam. And again, I was like, I don't think it's a scam. I think he's just very young, and because he said that he'd been writing this story for like 10 years. I think he's very young, that people bought into the hype, the promotion of it, and you took a risk, you bought the book. I don't think there should have been refunds. Like, I buy books I don't like all the time and I don't demand a refund. So that was the whole to-do. There are many videos about it. So then, again, he said he was rewriting the book, was gonna be doing all these like updates on Patreon. He was doing these posts saying like, I've hired this person as an editor, I've done this, like, we're going back through it, and I'm gonna give you a bigger or a better second edition of this book. Then it came out maybe a few months later that he was like selling everything and moving to Finland or was it Norway? And people were like, uh-oh, what are you trying to do? And then now the latest update, and this was on February 21st. After careful consideration, I have decided to cancel the spring 2026 release of the Age of Scorpius second edition. If you've pre-ordered either a second edition paperback, originally September, October release, or a second edition hardcover and would like a refund, please visit our refunds page on the World of Guardian website. Though refunds will take time because of reduced business operability and company resources, I intend to see a refund through for anyone who wants one. Each time I've sat down to work on the second edition, I've struggled to make any progress with the growing pressure of forcing myself to write a story that I should not rush. Since the backlash in August, it has become increasingly difficult for me to enjoy writing or working on a book that has so recently caused me this amount of pain and stress. I should have made this decision much earlier, but I was too stubborn and clung onto my dream despite what everyone else told me. I need to heal myself, improve my craft, and take a few steps back from social media. I'm not sure when I will be ready to give the Age of Scorpius the justice it deserves, though I may return to the project at a later date. Right now I need to properly heal and reconnect with the story I'm dedicated to telling. This is not the end of Guardian, as I love my world unconditionally, and it is a part of me that I will always cherish and create in. I don't plan on quitting writing at all, though I'm giving up on the dream of Age of Scorpius for now. I'm not giving up my passion. In fact, I'd like to build my skills as a writer while finding new stories to tell in Guardian. However, before I pursue another novel-length project, I need all the wiggle room and comfort I can get to learn and grow. The first edition of the Age of Scorpius will remain available as an ebook. Additionally, I have 225 remaining first edition hardcover copies listed on our website. That's the last of the physical copies. I have no room to store the current stock of books and boxes, and do not foresee myself selling them in the future. It may take me a few days to ship those out as my living and work situation has significantly changed. Thank you for believing in me, and I'm sorry I couldn't do the Age of Scorpius justice on the timeline I originally planned. I'm endlessly grateful for all the support, patience, and love given to Age of Scorpius, Guardian, and the World of Guardian team. Thank you for helping to make my dream a reality, even if it didn't end the way I'd hoped. I ask you, please respect my privacy at this time as I'm stepping away from the social media to find my spark again. I'll be back. So I still don't know if I'm comfortable. Well, I don't know. A lot of people would still say that this is a scam. And when I originally made my video, he had like it seemed like an unrealistic timeline for like rewriting essentially a large majority of the book. And I said at that time, like, that seemed unwise to put so much pressure on yourself to try to get this thing done, especially if you've been working on the story for 10 years. So maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I would like to hope that he is not scamming people, but it just seems like he keeps stepping further and further back. For now, it sounds like there's no set timeline or time for return, but that he does plan to return to it. But I don't know. So, you know, it's okay to admit when maybe you were wrong or maybe you gave people too much grace. But I do think as a community, as the internet in general, we should give people more grace. And then if they continue to act a fool, you know, if they don't learn from anything, then it's okay to be like, all right, yeah, you're fucking done. But yeah, those were just a couple things where I'm like, maybe I was wrong. And I feel comfortable saying that. So I would love to know if you think that Milo Winter is a scammer. And what do you think about Sarah Janet? I mean, here's the thing. If I see people reading it, it's no sweat off my back. I don't fucking care. You know, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. People are gonna read it, and she is just gonna continue. There are some things that are just gonna be true in this world, right? Like, you can tell people till you're blue in the face the number of things or concerns you have about a certain person, why you don't think that they should consume that person's art, and people are gonna do what they want to do. It's exhausting out here. Anyway, I have a lot of books and nowhere to put them. Don't we love that? So I'm looking for one book in particular. Have I found it yet? I still have, there's still like 13 boxes that I haven't opened. So it could be in there. If it's in the last box, I'm gonna, okay. That's all for me. Thanks for watching. I don't know. The world's a scary place. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen. I know, you're like, girl, the world, and you telling me about sunscreen? I have sunscreen on. So, you need to put it on. That's all. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.